And he spoke unto the man, he said, Be gone. And the man went, and gone he was. And when the weather turned, and thunder tore up in the sky, there came an ill wind, and it shoved him over, and to his knees he fell. And his lids grew heavy until he fell into a deep slumber. For days and days he slept. And when he finally awoke, he looked up, and his gaze fell upon a figure in the mist. And that figure extended his hand, and as the man reached out to grasp it, he was struck down, and back to sleep he went. For another day or 5, I don't know. And as he opened his eyes, he yet again saw the hand extended, and once more he reached out and was struck down. And on this went, sleep, wake up, get knocked out, for 1,000 days or years. But the man's faith never wavered, and he reached for the hand each and every time. And his head grew sore from the beating, and he grew a great horn on his head where he was struck. And after some time he awoke, and he reached out, and his torturer gripped his hand tightly, and he pulled the man to his feet. And still the man spoke no ill of him, and asked not why. Instead, his horn was broken off, and melted before his very eyes, and it was poured upon his skin until it engulfed him all. And then that shell of his grew darker and green, and then red, and finally golden, because, you see, the man was rewarded for his devotion. And now the two stood, one before the other, as equals. They stood for a day or so, until the winter came, and the man, who once stood his master, now bowed before him, and then lay flat on the ground, face down, and fell asleep. And so did all the other people of the land, as far as the man could see. And in a day's time, or a week, one by one they would awake, and the man wandered the land, striking them down as they tried to grab his hand. And the man did his duty as the seasons passed him by, until he came upon another man in autumn, who did not sleep and did not lie. But the greatest enemy is yourself. So it is the self you must battle with all your might and kill, so that you can be reformed into another self, I guess, whom you must then battle as well. It's a cycle. It repeats over and over again through the ages. Now the greatest ignorance in life is deceit. So you must speak true and not mislead anyone, except the self, for he is the enemy. And it is known the greatest failure in life is vanity. So you must not love thyself, you must hate it. And the greatest gift in life is acceptance and forgiveness and that. But do not give it to thyself, for you must not give gifts to thine enemy. And do not accept or forgive your past and future selves, for they are also the enemy. We are besieged on all sides by ourselves. O Lords, we ask you, what are we to do? God of blood, help us muster the rage we need to fight the onslaught that is to come. God of time, give us years of good health, so that we may battle on unto victory. And once our foes are vanquished, we pray to thee, the God of fire, that your flames may scorch the lands they'd inhabited, so that their children may suffer. God of greed, help us reap the spoils we deserve. And God of gumption, give us the gumption to go forth and kill again. It's all a metaphor, of course, for love, and the love for our elders, whom we must honour and serve. For the greatest friends in life are our elders. And he begat Unas, and Unas begat Rehobim, and he begat Bastin, and Bastin begat Lorm, and Lorm begat Borkarvana, and Borkarvana begat Saint Ben, and Ben begat Jarnis, and Jarnis begat Chol, and he begat Minkaros, and Minkaron begat Jonalet, and Jonalet was the father of another, Jonalet the younger, And he went forth and married Karata, and they had a daughter and a son. And they were John and Karata, of whom was born Shaul, and Shaul begat Brahim, and Brahim begat Faisal, and Faisal begat Lafaso, and Lafaso begat Jerod, and Jerod begat Mephas, and Mephas begat Mattanai and his brethren, and Mattanai begat Boto, and he begat Sophocles, and Sophocles begat Asron, and Asron begat Imol. Imol then begat Marin, and Marin begat Larton, and Larton, you see, he was the one who gave the gift of hope to the Unites, and they worshipped him for it. They said, Larion, blessed art thou among the Unites, for thou hast given us things, and so on. And then he begat Lon, and Lon begat Tophor, and Tophor begat Shahan and his brethren, and Shahan begat Frohim, and Frohim begat Sotan, and Sotan begat Malenko, who went on to be named Malenko's the fearsome and great. It was great, because it begat Jolton, and Jolton begat Lofton, and Lofton begat Isothual, and Isothual begat Geronthale, and Geronthale begat Usaphicliesto, and he begat Slumberthophostrocles, and Slumberthophostrocles famously fathered the magnificent Chithanael, or Jim as he was called, Jim the kind, and also vengeful, and Jim begat Ponto,